this one might seem kind of random question to ask you, but I was wondering, I'm reading a book about Jimmy Carter. I was wondering what your opinions about him were. I'm reading it. It's A Full Life is what it's called.
Well, I think that, the things that he is doing now shows that he is absolutely just a wonderful human being. He's in his 90s and he works on houses for Habitat for Humanity. I mean, this is a very giving, honest, just a great person. I think that's, when he was the president of the United States, I was a kid, and, he wasn't an aggressive type person. But I think at the end of the day, he will go down as a very, very kind-hearted, giving person, and that's what everybody should want to go down as.
Yeah, and I think about him in contrast to Trump.
No, Donald Trump is you're talking. You want to talk about night and day? That is it right there.
In his presidential library, it says, "We told the truth and we kept the peace." Trump couldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, Trump can't have a library. Come on.
And he sold his peanut farm so that he wouldn't have a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Where Trump owns 1,000 casinos and hotels across the world.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing is that Jimmy Carter is a man of morals. And he's just a good person. And honestly, if you're going to be the president of the United States, your life is definitely going to change. Donald Trump looked at the presidency as just a way to, increase his brand. I believe that there is going to come a day, and it's going to be a day that we're going to see soon, where Donald Trump is going to admit that the worst thing that he ever did in his life was listen to those folks that told him, you ought to run for president, because he lived for 4 years. He ran a crime syndicate is what he did. And, it was all about him enriching himself and his family doing the same thing. And at the end of the day, I believe, he will go down in the bottom 3 worst presidents in the history of this country. And he'll probably stay there forever.
Who would the other two be?
Well, I think, what is it? Fillmore. They actually did polling, and Donald Trump come in as the fourth worst president, but he wasn't the worst. So, I mean.
Yeah. What do you think? Why is Kamala Harris's approval rating so low right now?
Well, I think the problem with Kamala Harris is that, when she was a member of the Senate, she was out there, she was making noise, she was lighting people up on the Senate floor. And now that she's the vice president, it seems like she's pretty much kind of just sit quiet. And, she's not a Dan Quayle. She's a competent person. She's a very strong woman. And the truth is that if she ever wants to, actually win and be the first female president of the United States, she really needs to make some noise as a vice president. Being a vice president, it can either be ceremonial, or you can actually do things and get shit done. And that's what she needs to do. And she needs to be doing it, and she needs to make noise. But that's the Democratic Party's problem as well. Is the Democratic Party is doing all kinds of great things right now. Joe Biden is hitting home runs every day, but the Democrats are not telling their story. The Democrats are not out here saying, yeah, hey, guys, did you got your packages? Yeah, that's because that holdup at the ports ended when President Biden put a $100 tax for every 24 hours that each Connex is sitting on this port. And all of a sudden, boom, everything went out. President Biden releases 50 million barrels of crude oil to bring down the price of gas. And he did that coordinating with other countries across the world. So it was a global issue. So, gas has already dropped 10 cents this month. Tell your story, be the first to say, look, we did this. Right now, it's like the Democrat Party just wants to, do this stuff and act like it's no big deal. We're not going to really throw it in people's faces. Bullshit. It's 2022 in a couple of days, and we are in the fight of our lives because right now the Republicans want to take back the power. And now we know that if the January 6th even so much as asks people like Jim Jordan to come and speak in front of the January 6th Commission, and they've already said there will be repercussions when we take back power. So the Republicans are telling us what they're going to do. The Republicans are telling us that they're going to crash the system when they take back power, because we are trying to hold them accountable. So, we got to get out there. We got to fight, because it's going to be a fight. And you know what? Take the freaking gloves off, put the brass knuckles on, and let's start busting some teeth.
Yeah. One way you're fighting is with No Dem Left Behind. And I noticed that you have some candidates now that you are backing.
Yeah. We're supporting some senatorial candidates with Fetterman, Val Demings. We're supporting Tim Ryan. We're supporting obviously Marcus Flowers, Josh Remillard, Bruno Amato, and we're getting ready to start announcing some more folks. We're supporting Godlewski up there in Wisconsin. And we're getting ready to do another announcement. Dr. Cindy Banyai in Florida, we're supporting her. So we're going to continue trying to find the good candidates out there, and we're hoping that the people will get behind us and help us to be able to support these candidates. Because once again, we absolutely cannot allow ourselves to lose the House, and we need to increase in the Senate. We got to get away from allowing Joe Manchin and Sinema to have the power that they have. And we can do that by adding more Democratic senators to the Senate.
Yeah, Joe Manchin, the last time we talked, you said that he was probably one of the best governors that you've had in West Virginia. Seems like your opinion's kind of changed on him a little bit now.
Well, look, at the end of the day, Joe Manchin was a governor. He got things done. But Joe Manchin appointed himself to the state Senate seat, and up there, he's done nothing but fall into the money trap. Everybody who becomes a politician, anybody who runs for office and wins, they have the best interests of their people at heart. For the most part, I would say 95% of the people that run for office because they see issues and they say, I want to fix that because nobody else is. The problem with Washington, D.C., and it's also this problem in the State House, but in Washington, D.C., it's a lot worse. And that is, people will come up to you and they will start trying to bribe you. On the state level, when I was a state senator, I can remember 3 people coming into my office that were trying to get me to vote on a bill that would allow basically gas companies to go on your property and absolutely drill. And if you even so much as told them that they couldn't because it was your property, they could have you removed from your property so they could continue to drill. And it was also shooting lines to get all the stuff underneath your neighbor's properties. And I told them, I said, no, I'm not for that. And they had a beautiful young female with them. She was probably about 22 years old. And she could have been a model. And she sat there, didn't say a word through the entire thing. And then at the end, when I finally told them I'm not voting for that, she finally said, well, is there anything that maybe I could do to maybe change your mind? And I was like, you all can get your asses up and you can get out my office. But the truth is not everybody says that. There's a lot of people that fall for that bullshit. And in Washington, D.C., it's even worse. In West Virginia, somebody might be telling you they'll give you $5,800 for your next campaign. But in Washington, D.C., it could be millions of dollars. And that's exactly the way that it is. Joe Manchin just took $1.5 million from Republican donors to tank the Build Back Better bill. And the only thing that's good about that is it's finally waking people up in West Virginia to what a shitbag Joe Manchin is. The United Mine Workers of America have finally told him that he needs to do right by the Build Back Better. And Joe Manchin has always just assumed that I've always got the United Mine Workers of America. And I'm not a big fan of the United Mine Workers of America anymore because they stabbed me in the back. But at the end of the day, it is good to see them finally holding Joe Manchin accountable.
Yeah, he killed the Build Back Better bill on Fox News. Like, he ignored a call from the White House and went to Fox.
Yeah, and think about that. You're going to announce that on Fox. And the reason why is because that's his donor base now. He's getting all kinds of money from Republicans to do this. And the bad part about it is West Virginia, and I don't give a shit. I'm not scared to say it. This is the state that is the poorly educated. We've got a lot of people around here that are poorly educated, and they only watch one news source, and that's Fox News. So to them, they think Joe Manchin is a hero. But the truth is that they have kids, and that $300 a month per child ended on December the 15th. So let's see how they feel in January when they realize, what do you mean that check's not coming back anymore? Because they need that, and that's an absolute fact. So basically, all of the children in this country can go ahead and go back into poverty. Thanks, Joe Manchin, shitbag.
One of his people leaked that he was offended by the Biden administration leaking his actual policy positions, and that's part of why he.
Look. At the end of the day, if you're a friggin' daggone two-faced asshole, you're a two-faced asshole. That's just the way that it is. Joe Manchin's mad because people exposed him. Let me tell you something. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the country, and everybody around here struggle. And that jackaloon has a friggin' $750,000 yacht, drives a $100,000+ Maserati. Joe Manchin don't relate to anybody in West Virginia, especially in the southern part where I'm from. He owns multiple homes in West Virginia that are all, valued at close to, $500,000, $1 million homes. His children are both millionaires. His wife is a millionaire. They're all friggin' millionaires. The only thing about West Virginia, the only people that win in West Virginia are Manchins. That's it. The people with the last name of Manchins. Everybody else is going to eat a shit sandwich, and he ain't even going to offer a Tic Tac.
Yeah, they let loose that he opposes the child tax credit, and he was quoted as saying privately that he doesn't trust low-income people to spend government money wisely.
Yeah, but those low-income people are the ones that he comes up and sucks up to when it's election time. He come down here to Logan County, West Virginia. The average salary in West Virginia is $26,000 a year. So Joe Manchin wants to tell everybody now, these people are going to buy drugs with it. And that paid sick leave, they're going to use that to go hunting. First and foremost, that's bullshit. The average person in West Virginia, we actually give everybody a week now. We give everybody a week to go do your deer hunting. Joe Manchin's full of shit. Joe Manchin makes an excuse. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not pissed off at what Bette Midler said. Bette Midler said that we were, what did she say? She said, she hit us with addicted. We are. We are literally ground zero for the opioid epidemic. That's an absolute fact. I've got 3 small towns in Mingo County, which is the county right next to where I'm at. And part of it was when I was a senator. That was part of my district. 27.1 million pain pills in 1 year. In those 3 little pharmacies. Absolute garbage. West Virginia, Logan County, where I'm from, we got 2 pharmacies. Something like 17 million pain pills for 2 pharmacies. It's all garbage. We are addicted. We are, she said, illiterate. Well, look at the literacy rate. The truth is that we got about 25% of our state that can't even read at a 4th grade level. So she was right there. And you know what? We elect the most corrupt shitbags on the face of this earth. Fact. And they don't do jack shit for us. They never do. Because nobody takes the time to keep their eyes on these friggin' jackaloons. They don't. Carol Miller ain't done a damn thing, and she's getting ready to run for her 3rd term as a U.S. Congresswoman. And she hasn't done the first damn thing, hasn't pushed the first damn bill. And now her son, who is an absolute friggin' shitbag, he's running for governor. And the bad part about it is, it's West Virginia, man. All you got to say is, I'll do whatever Donald Trump wants, and these people will friggin' daggone vote for you.
The crazy part to me was he said he didn't trust them to spend government money. That's their money. That's the people's money. No, Joe Manchin is full of shit, and Joe Manchin's staff is full of shit. I would have left his ass after him doing that bullshit, but they won't, because most of his staff have been with him forever, and they know exactly the way Joe Manchin is. So I don't give a shit about them either. The New York Times says that Sinema raised $2.6 million in the first 9 months of the year, which was 2.5 times more than from Republicans, which is 2.5 times more from the same period last year. Manchin's increase, it says, is even more stark, as his campaign raised $3.3 million, a whopping.
We know that.
more.
Yeah, but we know that. We know that the Republicans always raise more money than the Democrats. And now these Democrats tapped into the Republicans, and the Republicans are keeping them full of money. Joe Manchin should never win another race again. But the bad part about it is this is West Virginia. This is West Virginia. You want to talk about people that will absolutely let you down every friggin' time? That's the one thing that you can count on. The West Virginia is going to let you down. That's it. No matter what. You know, I will never forget, man. When I daggone ran for Congress, I was on the Van Jones show, and I did a mic drop. I looked into the camera and I said, make no mistake about it. The teachers in West Virginia will remember in November. And he was like, mic drop, man. Oh, let me tell you something. They reelected every damn friggin' Republican that shit all over every damn teacher in this damn state. So you know what? It don't matter. We'll never let Joe Manchin come back. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. He'll be next. He'll be the governor in 2024. He'll win governor.
So speaking of,
but he won't do it for me because I'm getting the hell out of this damn place.
Speaking of Republicans, 3 days ago they did a poll, and nearly 1/5 of Republican voters still think that Trump is going to be reinstated by the end of the year.
Well, but once again, they're all a bunch of friggin' morons. Look, I don't give a shit, man. These QAnon people are friggin' nuttier than a shithouse rat. You know, I mean, they still think that daggone, and I love this. They're still showing up in mass to wait to watch for JFK Jr. and JFK to come back from the dead. By the way, that were Democrats. Oh, by the way, and now they're actually getting sick because they're not wearing masks and they're all gathering together. And instead of admitting the fact that you got COVID, dumbass, they're now saying it could be anthrax. Yeah, keep thinking that. Go ahead.
Tomi Lahren, she recently said that she agreed with everything about the Kyle Rittenhouse, that he shouldn't have been guilty and all that. But she said that the Republicans don't need to make a rock star out of him like they have been. Like,
too late. Too late. They got that dumb shit sack friggin' out there talking on national news shows and things like that. I mean, it is what it is. The Republicans are just that way. And once again, you know, these people that, you know, are these super Second Amendment friggin' jackaloons. I mean, they don't give a shit about nothing except the Second Amendment. And, you know, half of them can't even afford, you know, freaking guns.
It's sad when Tomi Lahren's the voice of reason.
Very sad, very sad. And I don't give a shit. She's right there. That's the first damn time she's right. She's still a shitbag.
You were on the Bill Maher show recently.
Yep.
How was that?
It was great, man. I mean, but you have to understand that, you know, Bill Maher sets the tone and Bill Maher sets the topic of conversation. He's got cards in front of him. And, you know, some people were like, man, you should have spoke more. But the truth is the person that I was on there with, she was brilliant, and the things that she said were spot on. And I got to say what I wanted to say. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great opportunity. And I got to keep my, hold on. I got to keep my, my Bill Maher mug, which they normally don't do. I just walked off with it. I said, I'm taking it.
That's hilarious. How do you feel about his recent comments about COVID? He said that the pandemic is over and people just need to accept that, and that going into red states, it's like very, he's like, he enjoys that. And it's like hellacious going into Democratic states because of all the COVID regulations. And he said a bunch of stuff like.
Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we are still in a global pandemic. The Omicron variant is now taking over. It's in all 50 states. People are dying. People are still dying, and people are going to continue to die because people aren't doing the right things. So, you know, if you know, I can understand everybody wants to no longer have to have a mask, but the truth is that, you know, a lot of people are vaccinated. A lot of people are getting boosted, but we're going to have a lot of people that just are not going to see the light until it friggin' bites them in the ass, and that's what's going to happen. And we're still going to lose a lot more people. I think that we're going to end up breaking the 1 million deaths. And you got to think about it. You know, President Biden had to build the infrastructure to get everybody vaccinated, and literally 70% of this country is vaccinated, but 40% of Republicans are not. 40% of Republicans are not vaccinated. 10% of Democrats are not vaccinated. And at the end of the day, it's going to come. It's going to bite these people in the ass. And look, check them for loose change and let's move on. I don't give a shit. I'm done with this anymore. If you're not vaccinated, you're a friggin' moron. And if you're not vaccinated, stay out of the damn emergency rooms. You know, I went to the emergency room the other night because I had some blood pressure issues. And I found myself sitting in the emergency room for like 3.5 hours before I got to go in the back. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a good thing I wasn't dying when I come to the emergency room. But, you know, the problem is that COVID is such a major issue right now that it's shutting down the hospitals. It's locking things down. And our nurses and our doctors are tired. They're fed up. People need to do the right thing. And I really like the fact that Dr. Gupta has recently said that we need to treat these people that are not vaccinated the same damn way we treat smokers and drinkers when they say they need a lung or liver transplant. Put their ass in the back of the line.
Recently, Hillary Clinton came out and she said that if Donald Trump gets re-election and that she thinks he will run again, that he will end democracy and that you won't recognize the country.
No, you won't. You won't. Here's the thing. I don't think he's going to run again because I think he's going to go down. I think that the crimes against him are absolutely stacked up. He's going to be deposed on the 7th of January. He's going to also do it again on the 10th of January. You know, Donald Trump, they're trying to basically buy time. They keep throwing these bullshit lawsuits and they keep getting thrown down. And the Supreme Court is not protecting Donald Trump. You know, at the end of the day, I think they've come to the term that they know that Donald Trump is done too. And it's only going to hurt him. And understand this, a dictatorship, if Donald Trump becomes the president of the United States, that means we now have an authoritarian dictatorship. In a dictatorship, you don't need a Supreme Court because in a dictatorship, the dictator is the one who decides what's right and wrong. And that's just the way that it is. So the Supreme Court ain't going to cut their own throat by supporting Donald Trump anymore. But at the end of the day, you know, that's what these people want. And I think that Donald Trump is going to be held accountable. But once again, if Donald Trump is allowed to run, that's a failure in our judicial system because he shouldn't be allowed to run. He should be tried for what he did by friggin' launching a friggin' coup against our democracy. And he's the one that was the head of this friggin' snake. So if he is able to run for president and win, our democracy is done anyway. It's gone.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like Trump hasn't been held accountable. Matt Gaetz, even it seemed like the walls were closing in on him, and now it's just like nothing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that, you know, the January 6th Commission is going to really try to get as much done as possible. They keep trying to postpone. They keep trying to keep the January 6th from getting certain documents. The January 6th is going to get everything, and they've already got a ton of shit, by the way. But once again, they're trying to push it off, like Steve Bannon going to court in June. You know, there's a reason why they fought to try to get that pushed off the way that they did. There's a reason why President Trump and them are trying to push this off, because they know and they're hoping that the Republicans will take back power in 2022, because if the Republicans take back power, they're going to shut down the January 6th Commission. You know, Jim Jordan has already said that if you call members of Congress in front of the January 6th Commission and you daggone depose us, well, there'll be ramifications when we take back power. And that right there should be the motivating incentive for people to say, we're not going to vote for these assholes anymore, because they've already basically told us that they're going to destroy our government if they are held accountable. If they take back power, they're going to destroy our government. They're going to try to get rid of every single Democrat on every single committee. That's what they'll try to. They will go to the extreme. And that's why we can't let that happen. And that's why 2022, everybody lottie-dottie needs to get off their freaking ass, needs to be knocking on doors, making phone calls, needs to be supporting Democratic candidates, needs to be finding Democratic candidates that are willing to run, and Democratic candidates that actually can run and win. So none of these freaking dumbasses like they got on the freaking right, like Madison Cawthorn and Lauren Boebert. You know, we need people that actually don't freaking eat paint chips.
When Hillary Clinton said that, a lot of people took that as her kind of trying to inch back into the race, and people think that she may run in 2024. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea. And you know what? Joe Biden is hitting home runs every single day. If Joe Biden keeps doing the things that Joe Biden is doing, I believe he'll go down as the greatest president ever. And we don't need anybody trying to get in there and try to muddy the water with him. Joe Biden is doing a phenomenal job. I'll support him in 2024 wholeheartedly. But there's still a lot of things that we need to do. And I think we need to do them in stages. There's a lot of things that he is doing. The vaccines are a big issue, but I really do hope that they can eventually get back to the promises that were made before the 2020 election. I want to see something done for student debt in this country. And look, I don't have student debt. I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree, and Uncle Sam helped me with both of those. I got my children through college debt-free. Me and my wife busted our ass, and we said we're going to get our kids through school debt-free, and we did that. And that was no easy task. But I still think that we need to do something with these people that have student debt. I think that teachers, I think that nurses, I think that police officers, firefighters, their student debt should be wiped clean, period. Their student debt should be wiped clean. And everybody else, there needs to be a percentage that needs to be taken off. Because the truth is the student debt companies have robbed this country and robbed everybody else blind. You can't get a friggin' loan from a bank to buy a house, to buy a car when you're 19 years of age, but you sure can get a $100,000 loan to go to college. And the reason why is because the only reason why they allow that is because they greased the pockets of legislators in the past to basically pass legislation that said, if you file for bankruptcy, you can get away with everything except student debt. They're going to carry that to the day you die. I got I got a brother-in-law of mine. The daggone is literally, he graduated college back in the 90s. He has only been able to pay the minimum payment every single month. From the 90s, he still owes exactly what he took out back in the 90s. So all these years, he's been paying money to these people, and he still owes the same exact amount. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, Biden just recently pushed back the payments to May.
Yes, and that's a good thing because of COVID. But still, at the end of the day, May's going to get here, and when May gets here, people are going to go, well, now we got to get back to paying student debt. Right now, we're hoping that some of these people are being able to save their money and do what they can. But at the end of the day, if they're saving it to where in May they can send a huge lump payment to their student debt, that'd be great too. But at the end of the day, these people need help.
Yeah. Why do you think Biden's approval rating is so low? It's just that the Democrat Party doesn't tout what he does.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. Here's the thing. President Biden sent, like I said, he sent 50 million barrels of oil to lower the price of gas. He put a $100 tax per container that sits at the port. Next thing you know, boom, everything's going. Everybody's getting their Christmas gifts on time. Everything is going well. So, he's doing great things. He elevated half the children in this country out of poverty with the child tax credit. Thank Manchin for taking that shit away. But this is what, Joe Biden has been wanting to do. And you know what? Joe Biden needs to be letting people know. If you want that to continue, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people do, then you keep supporting these Democrats because the Democrats want it. Not one Republican. And while we're at it, if you're going to yell at Joe Manchin, and I do often because I think he's a friggin' colossal shitbag, remember this. Not one single Republican voted for that child tax credit. Not one single Republican voted for the things in the Build Back Better. Not one. So they don't give two shits because the Republicans want the Democrats to fail miserably. The Republicans want everybody in America to be friggin' broke. They want everybody in America to not be able to afford the gas. They want everybody in America to not get their packages on time so that the Republicans can say, man, really sucks, huh? Maybe you need to reelect us and put us in power and we'll fix it. And of course, make no mistake about it, the moment that happens, the first thing the Republicans are going to do is give that money to the filthy rich like they always do, trickle down.
So you're talking about voting and everything. I know your opinions on third parties. How do you feel about Andrew Yang starting a third party, the Forward Party?
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I like Andrew Yang. I mean, Andrew Yang just mailed me his brand new book. Andrew's a good guy. I like him a lot. But at the end of the day, there's no third party going to do shit. It's not going to happen. Independents don't do shit. You know, the only thing independents do is take votes away from Democrats. So, you know, it's bullshit. It's a failure, and it will be a failure. And I like Andrew Yang. I won't support him. I will not support him. I will not vote for him if he's third party. I won't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I imagine he would take from Democrats because he was a Democrat before he went third party. So if he takes,
that's all that happens. That's all that happens. Look, Republicans vote for Republicans. The rich vote for people that protect the rich money. That's it. And then you got the friggin' poorly educated that think Donald Trump's the second coming of Christ. They're going to vote Republican because why? Because all they watch is Fox News. Because they think that if it comes from Sean Hannity, then you better believe it's right. You know, that's it. So they're going to vote Republican. They're not going to vote for Andrew Yang. It's not going to happen. Only thing's going to vote for Andrew Yang are Democrats that say, we're tired of the Democratic Party. We're going with Yang. Yang will lose, and Democrats are going to lose votes. And that's how the Republicans will pick up more seats.
Yeah. So 2022 is coming up. What are some goals, some things that you want to do in 2022?
Move. I'm hoping to break ground in January to build my new home in North Carolina. I'm going to continue doing what I do with No Dem Left Behind. We're going to continue reaching out to phenomenal candidates so that we can get some solid candidates out there that can flip these seats from red to blue. I'm going to travel to Europe for about 40 days. Going to have a person going with me. It's going to videotape everybody. And we're also thinking about maybe doing some type of a series. So we're getting ready to start the planning to start filming some of those things. So I got a lot of stuff going on.
Nice. One last question. I forgot to mention it earlier. Stacey Abrams is running in Georgia. Do you think she has a good shot?
Absolutely. I think she's got a great shot. But once again, you know, we need the Voting Rights Act to pass. We desperately need that to pass. I think that Dr. Reverend Warnock is going to beat Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker is absolutely clueless. He's taking too many damn shots to the head. The guy literally thought that John Lewis was a senator, and then he had the damn gall to say that they should put John Lewis's name on the Voting Rights Act when literally the cornerstone of John Lewis's career was about voting. So you know, Herschel Walker's a friggin' moron. And once again, I hope that Stacey Abrams is successful. I hope Stacey Abrams wins. I hope that Beto will take Texas. I believe that Texas is going to go purple. But I will tell you that I think that Florida is going to support DeSantis. I don't know why. He's a complete garbage shit sack. But, you know, at the end of the day, they love him down there. I mean, I went down there in April, and, you know, I'm wearing my mask, and people are like, you don't have to wear that here. You don't have to wear it here. We got DeSantis. Excuse me, I'm going to wear my damn mask. You know, fuck yourself.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Hey, man, you know, the Life Taco podcast, it's always good to go, man.
Third appearance.
That's right, man. That's right. As soon as I saw you send me messages. But then when I looked and I saw the Live Taco podcast, I'm like, yeah, I know that guy.
Okay.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you again.
All right, brother. Out here.